I'm dead wrong, and we're here with Deborah Twiss.
Hi.
I'm Deborah.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Jessica Delfino.
Hey, Jessica.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So it's great to have you here in the Big Apple. The last time we got together, you were just wrapping up a film called Choose with Robbie Bryant, Carter Roy, co-starred.
Yes.
And you were going to take it to some festivals.
Yeah, they just got into the Houston World Fest, and that's going to be in April. A lot of great things are happening with that film.
I think it's raised some awareness. It's gotten a lot of buzz on the web, and it was an important film.
Choose is about a woman who is pregnant. She finds out that she has advanced brain cancer, and there's the choice that she has to make between treating her cancer and potentially endangering the life of her unborn child, or going without treatment, the baby lives and she will die.
Oh, wow.
And because she's this very hardcore Catholic, she decides to have everything be about the life of the child. And when she slips into a coma, her husband's the one left with the action.
You'd also just come off of Kick-Ass.
Yes.
That was an amazing film. That is getting some critical acclaim. It was one of the best films of 2010, according to critics like my friend Cam Williams.
Oh, wonderful.
Critic right here.
Yeah.
And critics like Jessica Delfino.
You heard it here.
Yeah. Hi, Jessica. Heard it there. What she
It was
said
a fun
goes.
movie.
It was a lot of fun.
I love Hit Girl. Hit Girl is so cool.
Hit Girl rocks.
Yeah.
She kind of has a hit girl.
And
sort of-
Kick-Ass,
She totally
Kick-Ass
does.
herself.
Grown
Watch
up
out.
Hit Girl.
Watch out.
Yeah. So did that open a lot of doors for you, being in a film that became that successful?
Yeah, it did actually. It did a lot of great things, and I'm thrilled that I was able to be part of such a fun movie.
Now Nicolas Cage was in that as well, and I got a chance to ask him about Drive Angry, about the 3D effect there. Now you should be in 3D. Have you done anything in 3D
I've
yet?
not yet done 3D, no.
No, because you have some features that would be phenomenal in 3D.
Oh, well, thank you.
Her eyes. Her eyes.
Your cheekbones.
Her hair. Her eyes.
You also have been working on a film, I guess, called Signs of Cool.
It's in pre-production.
And when you left us the last time, you were heading to Paris.
Yes.
To film Winter.
Actually, it was in October, and I was going to Paris to help put together the production team that would handle Winter. I have a lot of contacts there from a movie I made called A Gun for Jennifer. Eric Schaefer wanted to shoot a movie in Paris, and so we teamed up, and I helped produce this film, Winter. I went back in February to shoot the role that I played in the film, and my kids actually played my children in the film.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so
It's a
I got
family
to.
business.
It was really fun too. We got to spend 2
And
weeks in
Paris.
Paris.
Oh, that's
I
great.
took them to the catacombs, something you guys would love.
We
But the
need to
bones
go
are
into
all-
the catacombs.
The bones are all dry, all the flesh is gone.
We can nibble a little. We like bones.
But it's
Little cast.
right, exactly. After 200 years, I think even the marrow's gone now. You
Do
know.
you think the French zombies grunt differently? They grunt with an accent?
Maybe.
So now
that.
you've worked, of course, in Paris. We were talking about. I saw you on Law and Order the other night, which was phenomenal.
Thank you.
We're talking about Signs of Cool in LA. What's it? Does each city have a different style, or is it really the same everywhere?
Oh, every city definitely has a different style. Paris is fabulous, but they really don't understand New York underground filmmaking.
Oh, gosh.
No. It's a totally different way of making movies there. I haven't actually shot in LA yet, and I'm going out there to shoot John Lee Brody, The Outcast.
The Outcast.
Yeah, and it's about this group. It's based on Oliver Twist, but it's a modern day, based in LA version of it, where there's this group of very violent orphans that are running amok through LA, committing these horrible crimes. And I play this criminal psychologist who's brought in to help Ernie Hudson and Matt Mullen, who I get to co-star with. I'm so excited about this.
So it's a true story.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I want to hear about television in New York. I've seen you on Fringe. I've seen you on Law and Order. You were a pilot there.
That was fun.
That was a cool scene.
And that's a great show, man. That is such a fabulous show.
White Collar, is that filmed in New York?
Yes, White Collar's filmed in New York. It's also a great show.
I can't flip through the channels without seeing you. Tell me about what that's like.
Great thing with the Law and Order SVU, even though it was just that one scene, the fact that I had my own, well, it was supposed to be mine, of course I pretended it was, my own private plane that I had to
You had a jet.
pilot.
You had a
It's
jet.
that is so cool. And my dad's brother was a pilot and had his own little airport and everything. He flew planes. So the second I got this role, I was like, oh my god, I got to call my daddy. He's gonna be so
Oh,
proud of me.
you're like
to
a
be
method actor. You
pilot.
probably had to learn how to fly to do that.
No, they wouldn't let me in the cockpit. Sorry.
Yeah, you have many hours of flying before you're.
Tell me a little about the writers for that show.
Oh, they are these two gorgeous, amazing, powerful women that are just brilliant. They're everything a woman wants to be. They're gorgeous, they're hot, they're funny, they're really smart. They're everything. They're really great. But that's why the show, like every
Jessica?
episode. Exactly.
Come on. No, go on. I'm listening.
Now tell me about your character in Fringe and when you're going to be back on it.
That was totally a one-off. I was like an ER nurse.
You didn't die, did you?
No, I didn't.
You could
but,
come back.
I was just happy to be on that because I love that show so much.
Jessica, do you have any experience with TV?
I have a little bit of experience with TV. I've been on Fox News, Red Eye with Greg Gutfeld.
I saw
Kind
you
of
on
strange.
Tyra Banks
I
on
was
our
on
last
Tyra
episode.
Banks
Oh,
as a
cool.
guest. I've been on Good Morning America doing comedy, which was kind of an interesting experience.
Yes, you don't have the audience laughing back at you.
Actually, they had a live audience
Oh, they
that
did?
day, and it was also something of a contest that day. It was a very great experience being on Good Morning America, and actually, everything I've ever done. I mean, they go out of their way to make you feel really special, right?
They do.
You know, make sure you
Yeah.
look good, make sure you feel good. They make sure, get you into makeup long before you go on, and I've never left a television filming not feeling like a princess.
Yeah,
Did
totally.
they
Leave
do
my makeup
things
on.
like us, like almost get thrown out of venues like we did here? Or we
NBC
should
probably
thank the
owns
West
this
Third
place.
Common
Yes.
actually for letting us stay here and not throwing us out.
Absolutely.
Wonderful bar on West 3rd and between Mercer and Broadway in New York City.
Did you say in between?
In between.
We want to
Segue.
talk about
I'm so excited to talk about in
a film
between. See,
that
even
you've
with
been
half a
working
brain.
on.
I would love so much for people to know about the Soho International Film Festival. It's going to be playing, all the films are going to be shown at the Quad Cinema on 13th Street.
It's a great
between 5th and 6th. And it's running from April 15th until the 21st. The film screens on Thursday the 21st at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And you can actually buy tickets online at the Soho International Film Festival.com, I think it is.
Okay.
It's a story that was actually, it's about 9/11. It's a supernatural drama about 9/11. It's a ghost story, ultimately. My husband and I, we were not married at the time. We were living at Greenwich and Canal, and we were in bed when we heard the first plane fly over us, and we heard the explosion. It was so loud, and you could hear the engines were in distress from having come down so quickly, like coming down from a higher altitude. When we heard the explosion, we were convinced that the plane had crashed on the West Side Highway or Canal Street. I ran out and I saw this huge hole in the Trade Center, and then for the following hours, we watched everything as it happened. We watched people jumping out of the windows. I mean, it was just like,
Oh my God, I still
it was
get emotional.
horrible.
So you were right there.
We were right there. There was a woman, and this is actually in my film. There's a woman there was a cafe that a lot of the people that worked at the Trade Center, they'd stop at this great cafe, and the people would come off the train, they'd get their coffee there and their breakfast, and then they'd walk down Greenwich to the Trade Center. And this woman came out with her 2 coffees. There was obviously one for her and one for like her boyfriend or husband or whoever she was going to see when she got to work. And she was standing there just after the plane had hit, and she saw the hole in the Trade Center, and she fell to the ground. The coffee spilled, and she just burst into tears, and she was like, "No, no, God, no!" And that, more than anything, like just stuck with me so badly. And
Such
then,
a human moment.
oh my God, it was like nothing I had ever experienced. And then for the following 2 weeks, really, because I had just moved to that apartment, and I didn't have ID saying that I lived there. So I wasn't allowed to leave because there was
Sure, I remember there were
this
troops
lockup.
in the street.
If I
a couple
went
days after.
anywhere, I wouldn't be able to get back into the apartment. So I had to stay there, and there was this horrible, acrid smoke. I was watching these flatbeds with these mangled cars and pieces of things, and this one flatbed that came with like 100,000 body bags, and then it left with all 100,000 of them because there was nothing. There was nobody left.
I still remember the smell.
Oh, me too.
I will never forget that smell.
Never.
It was amazing.
So you took this whole experience, and you
Inspired.
brought it back out as a film in a
Yes.
different form, yeah?
It was born in my mind 2 years after when I was on the BQE on the Brooklyn, the Brooklyn side.
Brooklyn Queens Expressway.
And we were going north, and there was so much fog, and the city was covered in fog. all you could see was like the seaport barely and the edge of the river. And I had held on to like this deep, deep sadness for so long, and I looked over and I thought, wow, how amazing would it be if the fog lifted and all of a sudden I saw the Trade Center there. And then I was like, what if I'd like slipped into a different reality, and what if it was my pain and sadness that brought me to that other alternate universe? And I was thinking of all these things, and I was like, wait a minute, there's a movie here. There's a movie here. And it's based on that sadness that I feel that I wish so much that this had never happened. And then, because of other movies that I'm obsessed with, like Carnival of Souls, Jacob's Ladder, it's along those, and this is along those lines of these people who absolutely, positively, you know, their lives have been turned upside down by this tragedy, and they're just in such a state of like shock and mourning that they don't even realize what's actually happened. And it's not until this strange traveler from California comes into the picture and he starts to connect everything with all these different characters that he keeps coming in and out of their lives, and in the end everybody realizes what's really going on. And it's
So you wrote this film?
this is
You-
like
you
this is like
directed
a
this film?
one. This is my baby. I wrote it, directed it, produced it.
You starred it?
Starred in it, edited it
Wow.
as Freckles Charrington.
I'm getting chills
In Between
just
is the name
thinking
of the
about
film.
the
In
process
Between.
that you must have gone through.
The scene where it's all revealed, like the whole thing comes together and you know what's happened. When we shot that scene, we wouldn't shoot it. We kept putting it off. It was supposed to be the 3rd day, then it was like the 10th day, then finally it was like, okay, this is the last day, we have to shoot this scene. And it was so hard. Every time we would go through it, all of us would break down crying. And it would take us 15 minutes to like, okay, suck it up, let's get it back together, back to one, we gotta do this again. And it was just so intense. There's certain parts of the film I can't watch. My actors are spectacular. I mean, I've got, do you know Mather Zickel from Rachel Getting Married? And he was recently in The Cape, and my great friend Annie Mizels, and then Renee Alberta, who's also in A Gun for Jennifer, and Teddy Sears.
So it's In Between?
That's In Between.
I'm very excited to see it. I'm going to be there.
Great.
And where do you go from here?
Go to LA in a couple of weeks, and then I'm writing a new movie based on actual things that happened in the house that we're living in Brooklyn.
Now
Like
you've
a
made,
haunted house?
you've made,
Yeah.
you
Wow.
made A Gun for Jennifer.
That sounds exciting.
You made In Between.
Yes.
So you're already 2 films ahead of just about everybody else.
I made another film called Molotov Samba.
And you made Molotov
Yes.
Samba. That was a magnificent film. Yeah. You're heading out to LA, and what are you doing there? You
John Lee Brody
Yeah.
is a new friend through Science of Cool. We're both signed to do Science of Cool. We're going to be working on his new film called The Outcasts, and that's
The Oliver
yeah,
Twist style
Oliver
film.
Twist.
Fantastic. So that brings us
Yeah.
full circle.
Yeah.
That is great.
And I can't wait to do that. It's
You
going
think
to be
we
a lot
can
of fun.
get Jessica to take us out of this with a little guitar ditty?
Yeah.
Please.
Do it.
Deborah,
not?
thanks.
So this is a little song about being a nerd and how much fun it can be.
Oh, I love that.
And I just did a show called Love in Strange Places, which is about how I met my fiance in a very strange way, and this is sort of on that theme. So it's like this. 1, 2, 3. Like to hang out at the library, at the library, at the library, because that's where the boys who like to read books will be. Ooh. And I will take one home, and we'll watch Ghostbusters on DVD. We'll say the lines out loud like it's cool.